Greetings! Good news everyone! Well, those who play Fortnite on PS4, Sony has finally given Fortnite players on PS4 the ability to play with those on other consoles. The platform's crossplay open beta is now live. Thus, Sony's stance on crossplay has changed at last. Sony's response to the issue previously was that PS4 was simply the best place to play, suggesting that there was no need to allow crossplay with other platforms. No comment. As for Fortnite Season 6 itself, beginning today, its theme is Darkness Rises and follows the events of the Purple Cube and its subsequent dissolving into Loot Lake. A former employee of Telltale Games has filed a class action complaint against the company. In case you're totally unaware of the issue, Telltale Games studio is closing suddenly. News surprised employees who were left with no severance and only 9 days of remaining health benefits. Telltale, meanwhile, announced that The Walking Dead final season may continue with potential partners, which could raise legal questions about the announcements of a sudden bankruptcy and lack of support for the fired employees, some of whom were totally new, and at least one of whom has just recently moved from the US East Coast to San Francisco Bay Area to work for the company. Of course, many Telltale Games employees are now being recruited by other studios, but let's be honest, sudden loss of an income will stimulate them to get any job as quick as possible. Some studios are going to get themselves decent and relatively cheap workforce. Xbox One and Windows 10 got many common features. You can buy games enabled for both platforms, there is a cross-platform multiplayer available, game saves can be transferred between platforms, and soon there will be one more common detail. Mouse and keyboard support is coming to Xbox One. The returning XO18 fan event on November 10 will provide more information. All we know at the moment is that Microsoft provides Razer exclusive partnership, hoping to deliver users the best experience on Xbox using Razer devices. This does not mean though that only Razer devices will be supported. Not at all. All we can do is wait for more news to arrive though. Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg announced Oculus Quest, a standalone VR unit. Oculus Quest is the next iteration of Oculus hardware, with full room tracking and motion controls. It is completely wireless, portable, supports 6 degrees of freedom, and allows for users to move in a virtual space. The 64GB headset will ship spring 2019 at a price of $400 US. A launch title for the new Oculus Quest headset will tell a new story in the Star Wars universe, in between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. It's coming in 2019 and is described as a VR experience. Jagged Alliance Rage was supposed to be released today, yet the release date on all platforms has been moved to December 6, 2018. A specific reason for the delay wasn't given, only that game needs a little more time in the oven. It is great that Handy Games THQ Nordic's indie-focused publishing label understands that nowadays, unpolished product can sunk a whole rebirth of a franchise. If you're a fan of original games though, there's some things you have to know about Jagged Alliance Rage. Instead of many mercs available for hire through some of the organizations as it was in previous games, now you're in charge of just a handful of them, with no reinforcements available, and these guys under your control have aged, since 20 years have passed, so basically you'll be in charge of a bunch of raging old guys. We'll see where that leads. After all, good old Jagged Alliance gameplay had set somewhat of a standard for the genre. Pity that nowadays developers cannot just recreate gold nuggets of the past. If you're a fan of an isometric RPGs or D&D-like tabletop RPG Pathfinder, be sure to check out Pathfinder Kingmaker game that just came out. The game was kickstarted by developers All Cat Games just last June and had Chris Avellone as narrative designer. Owlcat Games have also announced a season pass full of post-release adventures, so stay tuned. That's all for today. See you around and don't forget to like and subscribe. See ya!